fat. You never saw Lee Haney fat. You never saw Arnold fat. You never saw Lee Haney fat. You never saw the guys of those past eras out of shape because the phone could ring anytime. You had to be in Germany, you had to be in Italy, you had to be in Japan, you had to be somewhere around the world, and you had to be in good shape when you showed up. So the pride factor was always there. That doesn't exist today because the demand for flying all over the place is not like it used to be. We had to stay on shape. So no, we did not cheat on our diet because you never saw us fat. The guys now, they'll be 40 pounds over contest weight, 80 pounds over contest weight. We never did that. So I felt we had a different level of discipline.
My first
problems and tell me later what they have done. Eisenhower had passed the test. Marshall assigned him to the War Plans Division, overseeing the Philippines and Far East. By February 1942, just 2 months later, Eisenhower was chief of the entire War Plans Division. His subsequent rise was the fastest of any general in the Second World War. From lieutenant colonel in December 1941.
Ronnie was not a good loser.
I loved all my teammates, but my way of showing love sometimes, maybe they thought it was a little crazy, but that was just my way.
Ronnie was not a good loser. He wanted to win on every single play. If there was an interception, he wanted to run it back. If there was a hit, he was disappointed if he didn't cause a fumble. He always uses the expression about exhausting life. He exhausted himself on the football field.
Coming up.
We're never going to get out hit again. And that became the battle cry for our defense. We played them later in the season, and Alfred Jackson hit me.
Alfred Jackson blocked him in a way that required like 10 stitches in Ronnie's lip. Ronnie didn't like that. We got an interception. Ronnie turned around, and it was Alfred Jackson. You could see a light bulb go off in his head. It's like, you mother, it was you.
I think Ronnie Lott was just thrown out of the game.
Why?
Sometimes in life, you don't want to get out hit.
42 right there, oh. One the elbow right in the jaw.
There is Lott, he's out of the ball game.
I brought in the attitude that maybe the Niners didn't have, a nasty attitude of wanting to hit people.
See, we both played the game with passion. Ronnie with a big hit, a big interception. He was into it. Our teammates followed us. It was no way they were going to say, oh, they're driving us too much, because that's who we are. See, when you signed up for the 49ers, you signed up to be led by this man. You signed up for the Lakers, you know what you signing up for.
That leadership brought the 49ers to another Super Bowl.
People say, well, how do you hit so hard? Mike Tyson, you could see him hit somebody and everybody would go, wow, because you could feel it. You could feel all his energy go through somebody. That's how I felt. I wanted it to come from my toes all the way up through my soul. I wanted everything to go into the hit.
Part of my crew. I had somebody to cook all my meals. I had my nutritionist to write all my programs for my diet. And I weighed and measured everything I ate. Put on the scale to get a certain amount of carbs, get a certain amount of protein. What I was doing was taking in 600 grams of protein a day. And we had a formula. What we did was for every pound of body weight, we were taking in 2 grams of protein. The muscle size came from eating and eating only. Drugs were kind of like an assistance. If you didn't eat, you did not put on muscle. I put on about 80 pounds of pure muscle from my first Olympia to my last. My whole entire family.
You see that? I want you to remember
that no bastard ever won a war by dying for his country. He won it by making the other poor dumb bastard die for his country. Men, all this stuff you've heard about America not wanting to fight, wanting to stay out of the war, is a lot of horse dung. Americans traditionally love to fight. All real Americans love the sting of battle. When you were kids, you all admired the champion marble shooter, the fastest runner, big league ball players, the toughest boxers. Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for a man who lost and laughed. That's why Americans have never lost and will never lose a war, because the very thought of losing is hateful to Americans. Now, an army is a team. It lives, eats, sleeps, fights as a team. This individuality stuff is a bunch of crap. The bilious bastards who wrote that stuff about individuality for the Saturday Evening Post don't know anything more about real battle than they do about fornicating. Now, we have the finest food and equipment, the best spirit, and the best men in the world. You know, by God, I actually pity those poor bastards we're going up against. By God, I do. We're not just going to shoot the bastards. We're going to cut out their living guts and use them to grease the treads of our tanks. We're going to murder those lousy Hun bastards by the bushel. Now, some of you boys, I know, are wondering whether or not you'll chicken out under fire. Don't worry about it. I can assure you that you will all do your duty. The Nazis are the enemy. Wade into them. Spill their blood. Shoot them in the belly. When you put your hand into a bunch of goo that a moment before was your best friend's face, you'll know what to do. Now, there's another thing I want you to remember. I don't want to get any messages saying that we are holding our position. We're not holding anything. Let the Hun do that. We are advancing constantly, and we're not interested in holding on to anything except the enemy. We're going to hold on to him by the nose, and we're going to kick him in the ass. We're going to kick the hell out of him all the time, and we're going to go through him like crap through a goose. Now, there's one thing that you men will be able to say when you get back home, and you may thank God for it. 30 years from now, when you're sitting around your fireside with your grandson on your knee, and he asks you, what did you do in the great World War II? You won't have to say, well, I shoveled shit in Louisiana. All right, now you sons of bitches, you know how I feel. I will be proud to lead you wonderful guys into battle anytime, anywhere. That's all.